Well, hello. It is January 11th, 2021, and it's my time to address you as your shepherd here at Our Lady of the Woods. So I'm hoping so far that you had a pretty good Monday morning. And so let us come together as we celebrate. Yesterday was our last day of the Christmas season, and now we have begun ordinary time. I'd like to focus on two things. Ordinary time will actually go until February 16th, which is the day before Ash Wednesday this year. Ash Wednesday is February 17th. I just want to read something about ordinary time. However, this is not meant to be a time that is ordinary, meaning nothing special. This is the time when instead of simply celebrating the festal mysteries, we live into them. The feasts are reminders of who God is and what God is doing. We rejoice in knowing that our God lives among us, has overcome the stigma of death, and has sent the Spirit into our lives. But in ordinary time, we are striving to find that same God in the everyday moments of our lives. It is a time of lived hope and growth, as evidenced by the green color of the vestments. Richard Rohr notes that we cannot live in the presence of God. We are totally surrounded and infused by God. And so, my dear people, becoming alert and aware of our God within and among us becomes, as one writer says, a sacred venture into love. And there is nothing ordinary about a life lived in love. And so I invite you, as parishioners of Our Lady of the Woods and our parish staff, and those who are just listening, let us enter into this ordinary liturgical season of our church, praying with openness and gratitude for the God who blesses and graces every moment of our lives. Second thing I want to bring up is that I had shared it before, but Pope Francis has declared this the year of St. Joseph. It started on December 8th, 2020, and it will go until December 8th, 2021. In his apostolic letter in English called With a Father's Love, Pope Francis recalls the 150th anniversary of the declaration of St. Joseph as patron of the Universal Church. So to mark this occasion, the Holy Father has proclaimed a year of St. Joseph. And so if you get a chance to read the letter, I'll go through it throughout the year. There's some wonderful quotes. There's some wonderful kind of getting a sense of who St. Joseph is. Pope Francis points out he's a beloved father, a tender and loving father, an obedient father, an accepting father, a father who is creatively courageous, a working father, and a father in the shadows. Pope Francis wrote that as he had written this for the year of St. Joseph, he knows it's in the backdrop of COVID-19. But he says, this has helped us see more clearly the importance of ordinary people who, though far from the limelight, exercise patience and offer hope every day. In this, they resemble St. Joseph, the man who goes unnoticed, a daily, discreet, and hidden presence who nonetheless played an incomparable role in the history of salvation. So at the end of this broadcast, I will pray the prayer that we'll be using beginning this coming weekend at the end of our prayers of the faithful. I've ordered some holy cards that you'll be invited to take for yourself, especially during the weekday Mass communicants. But it's a beautiful prayer that Pope Francis has written, and we'll read it at the end. We'll use it until Lent, and then after the Easter season, we'll go back to the prayer of St. Joseph at the end of the prayers of the faithful until the end of the prayer of the year of St. Joseph. So I think those are important things just to keep in mind and to remember spiritually as we begin a new year. I just want to thank everyone who works so diligently, especially during our Christmas season. I get in trouble if I start calling names, but I think I certainly have to call Jason's name and his Golden Girls. If you get a chance, you can ask Jason who the Golden Girls are. I don't want to leave any name out. But certainly Jason and his Golden Girls, and Bob and all the musicians, and each of you that, if you were involved in some kind of ministry, you decorated, you were a lector, you were one of the ushers, a musician, an extraordinary minister of the Eucharist. There were so many ways that many of you helped. And we have a very beautiful and generous parish. So I just want to thank all of you that were really helping and working hard on top of a pandemic to really make this a very beautiful Christmas season. I especially want to thank all of you then that yesterday after the 11 a.m. Mass took time to really take down all the Christmas decorations and to get ready for ordinary time. I know the first, today, the Mass communicants were making remarks after Mass saying, oh my goodness, it's amazing that yesterday we had the Christmas decorations, and if you go into church starting today, you would see the greens for ordinary time. And of course, the statue of St. Joseph is in the sanctuary where the crib was, to remember again the year of St. Joseph. Right? Got it? Good. This week, Thursday, January 11th, we have our monthly parish staff meeting. As I shared with you before, we take time to really do some prayer and reflection and then various moments of business. Tomorrow night, Tuesday at 7 p.m., we have our monthly parish finance council. Again, if you have any concerns or you want to voice anything, please contact me or contact Jerry LeBoeuf, and they'd be very well. Or look in the bulletin at the members of the Parish Finance Council, and you can contact one of them. I would just encourage you. They do a great job. I think they really try to be good stewards of what you share through your finances, your time, your care of the parish. I just want to make this final remark. I have been very touched and impressed. You'll hear more about it, but we want to do more with our sound system, with the lighting. We've looked at various possibilities through Jason and Bob Amore and a couple of our parishioners, Bill, and a few others, that we want to make the best experience that we can for live streaming. And when we looked at some estimates, this is a typical response from some of our parishioners. A couple came up and said, well, what would it take? And not long after that, they wrote a very generous check to help us with that ministry. I'm sharing that. They don't want to be told, called, with their name or, announced or anything. But it's a reminder and it's a reflection of so many of you in our parish who are so kind and so generous, especially when something comes up. So I just want to commend you all for that. Those of you that have been so giving, and again, some people don't have the financial to be able to do that right now, but maybe you do it in other ways. Maybe you just do it by praying for the parish priest and the staff. Maybe you do it by just giving someone a phone call. So it's not just generosity financially, although that I've been very touched by those in the parish who are able to do that. But your generosity can be done in so many other ways, and I've seen it done through some of you with time, your own talent, your own asking what can be done. So God bless you for that. And I think it's a beautiful, wonderful reflection of our parish. Don't forget, this week there are a lot of things going on for adult faith formation. Check in with Tom Shanover and his evangelization committee. Check in with Pat Butler this coming weekend with the church tour. Check on Thursday with Claudette if you want to go online. 12:10 lunch with the Philippians. That's actually looking at the letter of the Philippians that Paul wrote to the community. And of course, this Friday is the second opportunity for those of you who would want to register by tomorrow in the series Why, the Why series from Ignatian Press. The second surge says Why Christ. And then, of course, in May, it will be Why the Church. So I think that's it for me right now. I close with something that I saw that kind of reminds me of my musician days when I was a musician plus a music teacher. And again, as you know, I always like to end on a humorous note. So I'm showing you this picture, and there's Jesus at the front of the boat. And it looks like Simon Peter, or one of the apostles right there. And he turns and he says to the one behind him, "You idiot!" He said, "Cast the nets." And if you look closer, it's the third apostle there playing with his castanets. Just a little humor this week. I hope that you have time to celebrate and find joy, and however you want to play your castanets, that you reflect God's joy in the world this week. So God bless. Have a beautiful week, and hopefully see you in church either face to face or online.